wondered what it would be like to run a quaint, cozy inn overlooking the ocean. Doesn't it sound pretty? Pretty and idyllic? Well, it also comes with its shares of adventures, as we're about to hear from Cityline's resident innkeepers. You know them as the dynamic designer duo from Scotland, but now they're also hoteliers in Louisbourg, Cape Breton. Please welcome Colin and Justin. All right, guys, I know we've talked about this on the show before, but you got to give us the recap of how you two ended up buying the North Star in Nova Scotia. Like, it was a bit of a stretch. Like, it came out of nowhere to me, but give me the story.
You know, think about the COVID times, okay? We were all forced to do things against our will, weren't we? You know, we were trapped in our homes, and we don't react well to that, you know? We always want to do more. And this one in particular, you know, was online all the time. We'd been to Nova Scotia many times, you know, had a real affinity to that province. And then he walks in one day, you know, we were up at the cottage, and I think I was making breakfast, and he goes, I think we should buy a hotel in Cape Breton. you know when your partner says that, you know, I think we should buy a Ferrari or whatever, you know, and you just go, yeah, darling, yeah. And you just know it's going to evaporate. he just kept coming back to it all the time, and I didn't get it. Hand on heart, I just didn't get it. I thought it was just some weird, very early midlife crisis.
Well, do you know, I tried every part of my kind of emotional, persuasive arsenal to get Colin to come on board with the idea of buying this hotel. And we have a busy career, Tracy, in Ontario, obviously doing all the stuff within the media circuit. But I wanted something different. I wanted something to add to that wouldn't take away from that. Something that could run in tandem. And the whole idea of being a hotelier had always really appealed. And this opportunity arose. This place was a busy hotel called Point of View Suites. And we were I was so keen, but Colin wouldn't understand. So do you know what I did to make him change his mind?
What?
I got myself a pad, a pen and an envelope, and I wrote Colin a letter, and I pleaded with him, and I showed him every reason why we should buy a hotel. And then after he served breakfast, I handed him the letter and I said, don't open this, I'm leaving. And I got out, I walked out of the cottage, I went to my truck, I started the car, and I drove the 3.5-hour journey back to Toronto, honestly weeping with anticipation, because I thought, if I write it down and consign my emotion to paper, I'll make him see that this is something that I have to do. It was a stirring in my heart, and if I hadn't done this, I would have felt incomplete.
So your partner hands you an envelope and leaves, and I'm like, oh, okay. Are we having a divorce? Does he need a kidney? I'm like, okay, listen. So, but he's gone, and I'm in this remote house. So I opened this thing, and I didn't get past the first page.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I took the cats with me.
You took the cats as well?
Yeah,
I took the cats.
Took my infants.
I would think he's leaving me.
But I read the first page, and it was like Justin had just wrung his heart out onto paper and was so honest and was so passionate about how much he wanted to do this that I sat there. It probably took me 2 hours to read the whole thing.
How long was the letter, by the way?
It was 5 pages. And you know, Justin loves his words.
Buy the hotel!
Exactly. So I got to the end of it, and I was crying, and I put the paper down, and I thought, okay, well, we're going to do this, because I think if you're someone's partner, as part of your role is to make their dreams come true. And if they want to do something that's so out there, why would you get in the way of that? You know, so suddenly I stopped crying. I felt quite elevated and quite excited by the whole thing. And then I looked out the window and I thought, damn, I'm stuck in this house and I've got no car. So I had to phone him and go, you've got to drive 3 hours back. I'm stuck up here.
And I said, before I agreed to that drive back to the cottage, we have some brokering to do here, Colin. Is that a yes or a no? And he said, we'll talk about it when you come back.
Oh, wow. You were really into it.
I so wanted it, Tracy.
You went there, you looked at it. What is it that changed your mind?
So we looked at this incredible property. It's in Louisbourg. It's a fishing village of 700 people, really severe southeast of Cape Breton. And when we got there, it was the wettest night imaginable. Like, we got there at 2 a.m. It was raining. It was just so awful. And I said to Justin, okay, well, we put the cats into the beach house. And I said, let's go and look in every single room right now.
Okay.
And if we like it tonight, in the worst weather, in the darkness, we'll like it at any time. And we poured ourselves a glass of wine, obviously, and we went on a creep around like The Shining in this big hotel, just the two of us. And it was magnificent. Okay, so I thought, okay, this could be a goer. Then I met the local people. And suddenly it just became more about a hobby and slightly more like a mission, because, you know, it's a tiny little town. You think about how businesses have gone under in big towns and cities across Canada. So that's happening in small towns as well. So I really felt that we could add something to that area. I thought we could turn ourselves into an attraction, we can employ local people, and we can create something that's totally ours.
And it's happening. So I want to get to the nitty gritty, because you're not just hoteliers, which sounds so beautiful. You're in the kitchen, you're fixing generators, like you are in there. So tell me about when the generator died, Colin. Who fixed the generator? How did they fix the generator?
So we got whacked by Hurricane Fiona. We had 9 days without any juice at all, and we had a generator, thankfully.
So no heat, though, if the generator goes out?
If that goes, the freezers all go, the food all goes off, you know, so there's nothing, we'd be totally ruined. But it sort of broke down. So I looked up on the internet, and everywhere, everything you need to know, there's a wee fat man who's made a video from America on YouTube. And
maybe not necessarily referencing fat as one of his character traits, Colin. There's a very talented gentleman equipped with all the prowess you need.
I'll just say it like I see it. Okay, there's a generously proportioned small American man who has the answers to everything. Okay, and he told me how to do it. I had to sit on this generator, take the keys out, then I had to change the oil. But you do it yourself, and it's because that's part of the process as well. I mean, he had the same. He had to go into the kitchen and do something much bigger.
Do you know what? Halfway through the planning and halfway through the hotel being open and launching, we had a chef who had COVID, and he also had some family issues and various other things he had to contend with. So we had a period, probably over the best part of 4 weeks, where somebody had to cook for 100+ guests, because we opened a restaurant there as well called the Bothy, and it's been sold out pretty much every night. And I thought, okay, it's sink or swim. If we don't open the restaurant, we're going to lose our professional traction, and we can't supply the guests everything they book. So damn it, I went into that kitchen like a kind of a lovely cross between Gordon Ramsay and Nigella Lawson, and all pouty and bosomy, but with some hardcore attitude. And I had brilliant girls. We have Christine and we have Hilda, 2 sous chefs. And with them, I steered the kitchen and I cooked for 100 people every single blinking night. And everybody was happy. So I learned a new skill. So I fortified everything I have to offer, Tracy. This hotel has been the realization of a dream, and it's been so fantastic to be supported by everybody. And before we go, Tracy, I've got to give a shout out to a lady called Mrs. McDonald.
Tell me about Mrs. McDonald.
Mrs. Julie McDonald, who was the former manager before we bought it. And she's 70, built like a whippet, and she has a lovely, unusually Scottish-Irish accent, as do most of the people in this town. Oh, I don't know if I'll be coming out of retirement to help you, Justin, but I might come back for a day or 2 here and there to give you a shot. She's proved our biggest ally. That was a great Scottish Irish. She's been our biggest ally. Mrs. McDonald, we adore you, and she is there every day with us, steering this ship, and she has problem solved everything. Without her, we couldn't have done it. Now, do you think it was a good thing to have done?
I think it's an amazing thing. You know, I can't wait. You know, the season starts at the end of May. And we'll be there from May till October, you know, steering the good ship North Star in Lewisburg, and I can't wait.
There's so many designers doing so many different things, but the reason why you find success wherever you go is it comes down to the heart. You see, like you talk about the community. You're not going in there to take over the community. You're going there to be part of the community.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And they see that, and they recognize that, and that's why you get a Mrs. McDonald. Who has your back.
She completely has our back, and we have hers. And if you engender the support of the community by involving them, that's when things go well. It's been a joy, guys. I have to tell you, we do a lot of things that we love, but this is perhaps one of the funnest things that we've ever done.
You
better come and stay, Tracy.
I am. I'm going to come because that's it. Like, look at how beautiful that is. It is absolutely majestic, and it's run by 2 incredible men. Thank you.
Thank you.
For taking us along.